Good morning, my fellow Canadians. First off, let me apologize to Jeff Foxworthy for stealing his shtick. I'm going to use his methodology. Voting Liberal. If you believe the people are there to support the government and not the other way around, you may be a Liberal. If you despise this country and its values, you might be a Liberal. If you are a smugly arrogant, educated idiot, you might be a Liberal. If you think the concept of fiscal responsibility is only a suggestion, you might be a Liberal. If you approve of the idea of Canada's military, her sons, her daughters, her husbands and wives going into harm's way without proper equipment or support, you might be a Liberal. If you sneer at patriotism, you might be a Liberal. If you think paying more taxes for less value received is just fine, you might be a Liberal. If you believe governmental corruption and irresponsibility is totally acceptable, you might be a Liberal. If you think style is more important than substance and gender is more important than competence, you're probably a Liberal. If you're a brain-dead millennial incapable of independent thought, you might be a Liberal. If you accept the idea of the media in the pocket of the government and acting as an agency of the state, you might be a Liberal. If you feel that you don't have the right to protect yourself, your family, from harm, or your possessions from theft, you're probably a Liberal. If you're willing to piss on the grave of every Canadian who ever went before you, who sacrificed their lives so that you could live free, you're probably a Liberal. If you think it's just fine that working hard to feed parasites who contribute nothing to this country or its future, you're probably a Liberal. If you're a weak child who wants to be cotton-wooled, coddled, told what to think, what to believe, and punished for independence of thought or action, you're probably a Liberal. If, on the other hand, you're like me and you want to see a return to a Canada of which you can be proud, a return to a government who understands that it's responsible to its citizenry, a country which charts its own course and who doesn't kneel to foreign interests or agendas. If you treasure Canadian values, Canadian history, Canadian ethics, then please vote for a government that truly cares about us, our country, and will regain our international stature. I beg of you, I really do, honest to God, if none of those previous statements apply to you, please, for the love of God, vote Conservative. The NDP, they meant well when they started, and as a political gadfly, they're very good, but they've lost their way. If they were given free rein, look how they screwed up Alberta. Look how they screwed up Ontario. Everywhere they've been, BC is a disaster. Everywhere they have gone, they have been a disaster. The Liberals, what they were in my youth, since 1968, when Pierre Elliott Trudeau took over the helm and turned it into a monstrosity, a joke, a calumny. Since those days, the Liberal Party is not fit to rule. So if you want to see Canada back to what it should be, what it could be, please vote Conservative. Good morning, and thank you.